everybody? How are you doing? Welcome to the Intrepidation Nation podcast. With me are illustrious Stando TV, as well
What's
as
up?
Jason the Red Hair, the one and only.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. What's up, everybody? Good to see everyone here. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
Awesome. Excellent. There we go.
How are you doing, Tech?
I'm doing very good, except for it being the last day of my weekend and getting ready to go back to work. But otherwise, awesome. It's always like a bittersweet when my not vacation now, weekend now is coming to an end. But it's all good. So, what's new with you, Jason? I heard you have some new updates as far as like you started a new job today.
Yep, started a new shit job today. Worked 12-hour shift.
Is that what you're gonna have to work every shift? Is a 12-hour shift?
No. Whenever they call me, however much they feel like it. Being a little bitch. Underpaid.
That's any job.
Right, pretty much. And what's going on with you, Stando?
Not a whole lot. Just same old, same old.
Awesome.
Stan's working my type of job. Just stand there and fucking hate your life. Everything about it. I'm overpaid, overworked, underpaid, overworked. Hate everyone around me.
Well, yeah, I now, see, that's one thing I can't complain about. I can't hate everyone around me because the only one around me is me. So that is one good thing. I'm not standing on my feet all day. That's another good thing. But I have to deal with customers all throughout the day that can be sometimes aggravating and stress-inducing. So,
I know about aggravated customers. You get a bunch of jackasses coming in there to buy food. And at the last minute, hey, let's just split up the fucking bill and make cashier figure it out.
that's always
One
nice.
wants to pay with credit, the other wants to pay with cash, and you just stand there looking at them like, why don't you fucking people move to the goddamn parking lot? Figure
Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously, isn't that the dumbest ass thing you've ever seen? A bunch of fucking drunk idiots doing. Or I don't know if they're drunk, but they might as well have been. It would have been a good excuse.
Right. At least then they would, have had an excuse, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think we have a few things we want to talk about. I think we'll start off.
I think we all have the same topics.
Yeah, I think we all have the same, pretty much the same topic. I think all three of us are kind of united on the same topic. I guess we'll
The
start
war
off-
on Iraq.
The war in Iraq, yes. That's what we were going to talk about.
What do you know about it, Tech?
There's people getting shot and dying over there.
All right,
heard
let's not do the war on Iraq. That's no.
No, that's not really our topic for conversation. Tonight,
Hillary Clinton.
yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. That was like, ooh, I was so excited. Yes! Wanted
She's
to talk
looking
about-
sexy,
No,
kind of. This new term she's going.
No political podcast here. This is the Geeky Intrepidation Nation podcast. Reel it in.
But
We'll show
you didn't
geeks.
know it,
We
but
don't
me
need-
and Jason are politics geeks, aren't we? No, not really.
I'm more of a
I'll be back in a little
conspiracy-
bit, guys.
No, I'm just kidding. No, our real topic of conversation is, a few things, but the first one we're going to start off with is the new teaser trailer for Batman vs. Superman. If you guys have not seen it, you should check it out. It's awesome. It's really cool, but it's short. It's short and sweet and gives you like a little taste of what's going on. And you want to see more, definitely, in 2016. So what are your thoughts,
What?
guys?
You want to go first, Jason, or you want me to go first?
You can go.
The Superman does not have me excited, although or the Superman stuff does not have me all that hyped up. Just because I didn't enjoy Man of Steel that much, and plus there's this one scene where there's like this Superman SWAT team that's bowing before him
Yeah.
in the trailer. I thought
Nice.
that was kind of dumb, but they've erected this huge statue of Superman in the trailer, right? And so you see him, and well, naturally, with any alien godlike being that comes here, some of us are going to be like, "Yay!" and rally behind him, and some of you are going to be like, "No, we can't trust this guy. He's not one of us. He could be here to destroy us or conquer us." And of course, Lex Luthor is the one that's narrating this, right? So yeah, I get what they're trying to do, the false god thing, and but Superman stuff didn't really. I don't care. Batman, however,
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, badass. This guy looks. He's big. Oh my God, Batman put
A
on some
beast.
muscle. He is. Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
And I love the line that he threw at Superman towards the end of the trailer. I wonder if you bleed, and then you hear, "You will." I mean, it's just great, and he's wearing the Batman armored Batman. I mean, I'm glad we got to see Nolan's Batman, the serious Batman. What if Batman was taking place in reality? But I'm glad to see Batman kind of come in, meet me halfway, come down to a little bit more into the comic book universe here at the same time. So I'm
I
really
think
forward to looking at it.
Batman will break Christian Bale's back, literally.
Oh yeah, no kidding. I mean, I was
I'm
totally impressed with Ben Affleck's presence in the
I'm
trailer as Batman.
definitely looking forward to seeing Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm excited about it. Yeah, and I'm kind of with you, Stan. It's not that I was not excited about the Superman stuff. I mean, I was because I liked Man of Steel, but only for me. I just kind of look at Man of Steel as an alternate take on Superman, not like the real Superman. We've like talked to Pat to death before in the past, but it's like just a version of Superman, not necessarily what we all think of as our true image of Superman and everything. It's cool looking and everything, but yeah, once Batman got in the trailer, that's when I was like, really got excited. Yes, that's really
Right.
the exciting part is seeing Superman and Batman together and this new take on Batman and everything.
Well, two other things that weren't addressed in the trailer is they're rebuilding a Metropolis because it's pretty much demolished at the end of Man of Steel. Um, another thing I have a problem with though is like the voice sounded cool, the narration sounded cool, and it is Jesse Eisenberg doing Lex Luthor. But this is the Facebook movie kid, and I like you don't
I,
see him
I,
in the movie. You don't
You've
see.
seen pictures of them though. They've had
Yeah,
pictures of
you
them
see
as Lex
like
Luthor.
pictures, but it's kind of like when they did the release photos of um, Heath Ledger's The Joker. Now, if they had actually showed an in-scene image, it would have been pretty cool. But they're not showing in-scene images. They're just showing you, oh, this guy shaved his head. Look.
I don't know. He kind of has this intense Lex Luthor-ish look on his face, though. Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully he'll be good. Who's the? Are they going to have a Batman villain in this one as well? Since they have Lex Luthor obviously is a Superman villain. Are they going to have any Batman villains?
I think Superman.
Is just going to be the Batman villain.
Superman is the
Yeah.
Batman villain, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
that makes sense. That's yeah. So it's just going to be Superman up against, or
I
Batman
mean,
up
we're not
against
going to have a
Superman.
fatal three-way here. Superman versus Batman versus Lex versus 20 other people against Batman.
Right.
Again, one of the things that I worry about with this movie is that we saw what happened to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with all the overload. I mean, look at they tried to fit everything under the sun in that movie,
The
and it
same
just
thing with
did not
Spider-Man
work.
3 too, where they tried.
Yeah,
to,
Spider-Man 3, yeah, totally.
and even like some of the other Batman movies of the past, like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, where they try to smorgasbord too many villains together. So that's good. Actually, it would be best to just have one villain and then the main event be Batman versus Superman. And then they finally come together to face the one threat rather than spreading themselves too thin with too much going on. Exactly.
But is Lex Luthor really a threat at this point? I mean, you got to think Lex Luthor doesn't really. I mean, he probably instigates a lot of this, but he doesn't become a threat.
Maybe more like
as
Lex
Star
Luthor
Labs
in
guys.
Smallville, where it's kind of like a slow build up to him becoming the threat or something like that.
Yeah, may perhaps.
Well, also,
I
you
give
gotta
it.
look at the subtitle being Dawn of Justice, so you know that they're looking at this as a lead into a Justice League movie, and there's supposed to be cameos by other members of the Justice League. So we're kind of
But that means something else other than Lex Luthor has to be going on.
right.
Because we were told that this was going to instigate the Justice League films, which means eventually somewhere in this film it's going to be a team-up movie rather than just a Superman versus Batman movie. I mean, Batman and Superman are going to, like, get their fight on, you know. But
eventually end up
they're supposed to
resolving.
team up, right? Because from this trailer, it doesn't look like there is any team-up. It looks like it's Batman v Superman.
Right.
Um,
But,
But
at
if
some
that's
point,
all
they
it
gotta
is-
end up on the same side at some point.
but if that's all it is Batman versus Superman, I'll be happy with that. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, regardless, I don't even think they need to put any of the cameos from the Justice League members. To me, that's almost like the too many villains having too many heroes in there too. At this juncture, I mean, obviously with Justice League, you'll have a bunch of heroes, but I think
I give it 6 months before we see Aquaman, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's going to be in this film.
Right, but I give it 6 months before we see a trailer with them in it, or a sneak peek.
One of the
maybe, yeah.
one thing about this film is even if it's garbage, even if it's complete crap, I'm okay with it because at least we get to see Batman and Superman on the same screen, which means even if these people don't do it right, we broke ground now, and that means we can hand it off to somebody who will do it right.
Because
And we got a Batman who looks like a beast.
right.
Yeah,
Because you think in all the years, I mean, like Batman turned 75, 2 years ago,
something like that.
or 1 year ago, and Superman turned 75 2 years ago, something like that. In all these years, we've never seen a live action. We've seen cartoons, but we've never seen like live, other than fan made productions, and even some really good fan made productions. But never really seen like studio full release, whether on TV or theater live action Superman and Batman together.
I still wish, though, for Justice League, they should, instead of trying to cram everything into this movie, use the television universe and the cinematic universe as one universe.
Don't make them separate. Do like Marvel and keep them tied.
Right. It's just my opinion, though.
I agree. I agree on that. You got anything else to add on that, Jason?
No, I'm just waiting to see more characters because I heard like Jenna Malone from the Mockingjay and movie might be playing the new Robin.
Really?
Yep.
So Robin
playing-
might actually be in this movie, you think?
She's rumored to. They're not sure yet. There's a lot of things. Other guest appearances, what they've talked about. But I think she'd make a pretty hot Robin.
Cool.
But, another thing, too, is what comes after Superman. I'm assuming before we go full on Justice League, we get a Ben Affleck Batman standalone movie, right?
Oh, yeah, I hope.
I would hope so, yeah.
I would hope so, too. And, dude, the freaking... Like, he looks like Frank Miller's Batman.
Yes, he does, yeah.
The way... With the costume, the way the cowl is, the way he's just... The way he's built, the way he's put on the mask.
He looks like The Rock wearing Batman outfit.
Right.
Right. He looks just like this older Frank Miller Batman, gritty and just oh man, I was so impressed with his Ben Affleck's physique
His
in this,
presence alone was just enough. I thought, yeah, that's terrifying.
and
You
he
don't
looked
know.
good as an older Bruce Wayne. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think Batman definitely stole the teaser.
Oh yeah,
I mean, at first you see, especially like say you're just a mainstream audience, movie audience goer, not a big, you're not in the know, like you don't go on the internet, find out about this stuff and everything like that. You of course you like Superman, you like Batman and everything, and then you see this trailer and you think like, oh, it's a trailer for a new Superman movie, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's Batman too. It's like,
And just
think of the people who had to shit themselves seeing that in the theater.
right.
Ben Affleck will be the only actor who's ever played Batman and Superman in a lifetime.
Right.
What is this Superman SWAT team though? Like, did you see? You noticed
Yeah,
the SWAT
I
team that
saw
was
that.
kneeling before him.
Yeah,
They're
like-
wearing the Superman
They look
patches
like-
on their.
They kind of look like Nazi stormtroopers type.
Yeah, it's like, what's the deal with that? Are they? I mean, is Superman accepting their kneeling?
I
like
don't
that,
think
or-
That's another thing. Is he? Is he?
I don't think
I
he has
mean-
much of a choice. I think his own bunch of nut jobs.
Maybe he's almost
Crazy.
like. Well, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
I was I'm just gonna say a bunch of nut jobs who are probably praising him and doing this and all this, and he's probably like, no, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Is this a?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think Superman would really be like wanting to accept worship or anything.
Well, the
towards
way he
like that.
lands, and they all bow, and he just rises up. You don't know.
Right.
Is this a rogue military force that's killing in Superman's name? That he's coming to say, oh no, bitches, or is this like what? The scene's just confusing. Why they put that in the trailer and not something more
Maybe
meaningful?
raise questions. Maybe to raise like, why are they doing that? And what Superman's reaction going to be to that?
Right. So
Interesting. Yeah, definitely intriguing. Absolutely. Almost like, what if Superman's almost like trapped, like not trapped, like obviously physically or anything, but like, what if people have like put him in this position and they do this to him, and he almost like is stuck accepting it with, even though he doesn't really want to. Maybe he's been put in a position where he has like no choice but to accept all this, and then everybody thinks that he wants it, even if he doesn't really want it or something. Who knows?
anyway,
Do we
that's
have-
all I can think of. The trailer is short. I mean,
Yeah.
but even though this trailer is short, the other trailer that we're wanting to talk about here in just a little bit is it's actually a little bit shorter. But I think I have more to talk about in that trailer.
Probably, I think. Before we get to that trailer, there's another trailer that's kind of associated with that other trailer, but is a video game rather than a movie, and that's the new Star Wars Battlefront trailer that came
I
out.
thought it looked stupid. I'm sorry.
Well, the graphics look amazing. The graphics
Yeah.
look amazing. I think it's coming out November 17th. I did want to touch on it. We don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it, but I want to.
I'm just not a fan of video game trailers because all they are is just 90% cutscenes, maybe a couple little actual gameplay, but all the rest cutscenes.
I was
But
going to
it
bring that
was-
up. The when it first comes on and it says in-game engine, that's a pre-rendered cutscene. The whole thing was pre-rendered. You can tell it's pre-rendered. That's not what the actual game looks like. However, what was impressive is, and that was indoor. Am I right?
Yeah, Endor and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Hoth.
And when it switched to Hoth, that was in game. You could tell that was in game. Just like when you saw the X-wing diving through the canyon, you could tell that was in game. And when you saw the Boba Fett character rising up and doing the turn, you can tell that was in game. But the entire intro before that, you can tell that was completely pre-rendered.
Even though it said
And
in-game engine on that
yeah,
thing.
yeah, totally. And the the reason I don't think this game is going to look that good on PS4. Not as good as that trailer. I'm
Yeah,
almost
I was like
definitely
hard pressed to think, is it really going to look that good on PS4?
no, because here's what Dice came out, and they pretty much want the standard for video gaming this December of next year to be the Titans and Windows 10. Not everybody's going to afford that. The PS4s and Xbox Ones aren't going to be able to run that. There's a big push to get all their game devs onto DirectX 12, and I think that's what this is running on. It's running on whatever Windows 10 dev kit they've got going, DirectX 12, and probably 3 Titans, and that's why it looks as good as it does.
The funny
But
thing being that the commercial like has PS4 at the beginning and the end.
yeah, exactly. And I just think this is, dude. That commercial would have been the same whether it said Xbox or PlayStation or PC. It's just who's going to pay out the most money to get that advertisement slot. It's not just because it's got PlayStation. That just means it's coming to PlayStation. It doesn't mean that footage was captured on the PlayStation, which I don't think it was. And if it was, no matter what, that intro was pre-rendered.
I'll be very
Okay.
disappointed if it doesn't have any Episode 7 downloads with it.
I was surprised to see Darth Vader.
I mean,
I
if they
thought,
don't have Episode 7, it's like, why bother making a game?
well, that's another thing too. Is this trailer dropped the same weekend as the Star Wars trailer dropped, which means, if I'm wanting to get this game out by this November, which is a month before Force Awakens comes
Movie
out,
release.
then my DLC plan for day one content or for the next month is going to be Episode 7 stuff after the
Right.
movie releases.
Right. That makes sense, absolutely.
But, they got all hyped up about pre-order downloads for, the Star Wars, series. It's like, why would you pre-order to download it? The series. I couldn't get that excited over the fact that, oh, now it's finally released to download on whatever you want to download it onto. Considering most people have every half a dozen copies of it to begin with.
Are we talking about the television show or?
No, the Star Wars, the movies.
Oh, the digital release. Yeah, he's talking about it 'cause
Yeah.
the digital release came out this week too. the movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
okay.
have them
they-
on Blu-ray, which why would I want the digital release when I already have them on Blu-ray?
Yeah, and I have the cheap Blu-ray version, which doesn't have any of the bonus stuff.
Uh,
They have a cheap Blu-ray version of it.
Speaking of
Cheap
that,
bastards.
since Disney owns it now, please, Disney, please. I know you're probably never going to watch this video and you're never going to listen to a lonely guy like me, but there's billions and billions of people out there in the world who feel just like I do. Release the original trilogy,
On
the original
Blu-ray.
print, before Lucas butchered it. Before all the extra
original.
CG effects from the 90s that don't fit in with the rest of the film. Han shot first. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. That scene with Jabba the Hutt does not need to be in here because the thing about
No.
Jabba the Hutt is when I watched it as a kid, Jabba the Hutt was this big mystery. I had to go
Yeah.
through 3 movies to find out who Jabba the Hutt was. And then it was a big shocker. Oh, it's this big guy, and he's all, ugh. Don't put him in the first movie. Leave him a mystery. Let that build up go, man. And
Yeah.
on freaking the Return of the
Keep
Jedi.
Anakin Skywalker out of
Return
Return of the Jedi spirit thing. I
right,
about puked when I
right,
saw that.
and there's no reason to add the no as Darth Vader's picking up the Emperor and throwing him over. There's no need for it. Take all that crap out.
I
Sorry.
miss the
Or at
Jawa sing
least, if you're not going
or
to take
the
it out,
Ewoks.
release the original prints on Blu-ray.
Yeah, release the original prints. I mean,
The closest we
most
have
ice,
right
most
now
ice.
is they have the original prints on DVD. They did have a release where they released the original, like the special edition and the original on DVD, but that's just DVD. We need them on Blu-ray and HD.
Right. Dude, most
I
ice
miss the
is supposed to
Ewoks
be this
singing
little
at the
hole in
end.
the wall. Let it be
Yeah,
that hole in the wall. There was no reason to make that big CGI scene to make it seem bigger than what it was. I like the fact it's Tatooine. There's nobody fucking here. It's a little
Oh, and that
makes
whole
sense.
scene at Mos Eisley, the singing and the dancing with that fat ugly thing with the 10 boobs hanging really low.
that was
That
on
was on
Return
Return
of
of
the
the
Jedi.
Jedi. Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
That's the job of the Hutt Slayer. Yeah.
Right,
yeah, no one wants to see that. That's just
right.
disgusting. It's weird. Yes, okay. There's one thing I do like: the Scarlac monster that ate Boba Fett. That was more entertaining than the original, where he just fell in a little hole with some tentacles popping
I
out.
don't think that all the additions to the special editions are bad, but they're
No,
definitely like they never should have changed the Han scene with Greedo. Han shot first.
I
That's
agree
it.
with the enhancement shots. Like,
I do like the Ian McDermott Emperor in Empire Strikes Back that they put him in there. I do like that because
I don't.
that it doesn't because the original Emperor that they had in Empire Strikes Back doesn't really match up with the Emperor that we know,
Yes,
especially with.
but that'd be like someone taking credit for what you just did.
Well, that's why we should
I
have an original version though too, of
like
non-modified
the
in any
I like the
way.
original version
Yeah.
where the actual actor who did it, got paid for it instead
I
of
agree with
someone
Jason.
shoving his face in there.
I understand what you're saying there. I like the new or the
Some
emperor
like
that we
hot
know in all the other
shots.
movies being put in there. But I get what you're saying though. Yeah. But again, we should have the original cuts unmodified in any way whatsoever. The original versions, even with the old Lucasfilm Limited logo
The,
instead of the newer one.
the only
Everything.
thing that I liked about the reenhance what it was just that the re-enhancements, like they made the explosion better on the Death Star. I like that. I like the fact that it's not just three X-wings heading in. It's more like more realistic.
The
It's
whole
a troop of
squadron.
X-wing. Yeah, a squadron. I do like stuff like that. I like the fact that they changed Darth Vader's Star Destroyer from white to black with blue lights, running lights. I like that. But some of the other crap, man, just
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know if they can do a combo redo where they keep all the stuff we want, but still keep some of the other new stuff we
yeah,
want.
yeah. I would.
I think they just need to release the original, untouched versions on Blu-ray,
yeah, we have
They probably
including
could on
Episode
Blu-ray.
4 in A New Hope, taking out the Episode 4, like the original release, where it didn't even say Episode 4 in it.
just
They
said
probably
Star
could
Wars.
on Blu-ray. Would you like your Blu-ray experience of Star Wars episode, whatever? Mostly made up, some made up, just a little.
Give me the original films. I can't pick and choose. So
If
just
you
give
can't
me.
pick and choose, I don't think we could really pick and choose because some people say, "Oh, that's cool," and other people be, "No, no." So I think we should just have the special edition versions, and then have the original untouched in any fashion. Like, I mean, and that means including Episode 4 added in on A New Hope and everything. Even though that change was done like a year before Empire Strikes Back came out, that was actually the first time they modified A New Hope was by adding that Episode 4 in there before, like, it
I'm
was
okay with
re-released.
them leaving that there.
But that's
They can
okay
leave that.
too. Although I've always liked because I haven't been able to see it since it first came out without that. I've always wanted to see it again just without the episode 4. But that's not as a big a deal, right? I mean, I actually do have. Well, no, I probably shouldn't say anything because it's kind of like not legal.
This is stupid too, because one of the major things is, oh well, we did those changes on the original print because it was deteriorating, and so that we can't go back and alter the original print. You can't tell me that somebody doesn't have a pristine copy of the original trilogy on fucking VHS somewhere that you can't alter that shit and digitalize it and put it on
VHS ones on DVD.
No, but I'm saying you can enhance the all right. You can video capture the VHS, enhance it, make it Blu-ray quality, 1080p, pop, make the sweat pour down, whatever.
With the VHS though, they had Laserdisc versions of the original trilogy.
Yeah, but Lucas is saying that one of the big things is when we complained about it, Lucas is like, well, we can't go back and change it because we changed the original print. We just he ruined the original print by putting this crap on it.
Well, from what I understand on the DVD release of the original movies, that the DVDs are not enhanced or cleaned up. Like they have all the flaws and stuff, and they're not even 16:9. They're 4:3 with letterboxing and everything.
I don't know.
The DVD versions of the originals when they released the DVD versions with the special editions. Which I'm even surprised Lucas even allowed that in the first place to even include like original prints, but that's the only time. But yeah, but regardless, somehow, some way, we want the originals untouched on Blu-ray and everything. I do have the originals. Well, Episode 4 still has Episode 4. I do have the originals on Blu-rays, but they're not official, or not Blu-rays, DVDs, but they're not official DVDs. But it is the original versions. They were basically taken from the Laserdisc copies and converted to DVD and everything, but it's the original trilogy untouched and everything other than Episode 4 on that one and everything. But anyways, I think we've gotten into that enough before we run out of time to talk about it. I think what we really want to talk about now is the teaser, the new teaser, the second teaser for Force Awakens.
You mean to tell me they're making a new movie?
Didn't we just talk about wanting to have the originals, blah, blah, blah? Now they're making a new freaking movie, too, on top of it?
This teaser had so much fan service in it. When you hear Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker narration, and he goes, "The Force runs strong in my family. My father had it," and then you see crushed Vader helmet, and then he says, "I have it," and you see this him putting his new robotic arm up on R2-D2, and he's all like shrouded in Jedi cloak. My sister has it, and you can see him handing Leia the lightsaber, and you have it, and then a bunch of good action like Star Wars crap happening. I don't know who the freaking Sith looking dude is. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about him. Don't release nothing else in a trailer about that guy. Leave it a complete mystery. It looks freaking awesome.
But you know they are.
And next week you'll see an action figure I'm at Walmart and tell everything about him before you even see the movie.
You get to see the shadow of the Empire pretty much with the stormtroopers.
What about that scene at the opening of the trailer on Tatooine with that crashed Star Destroyer?
Oh, the big ship.
Yes.
That's one of, this is J.J. Abrams. He loves to do this. You notice you saw the little X-Wing, and then you saw the big Star Destroyer, and you saw, man, that looks like bigger than a mountain. He loves
it reminded me of
these big hazy things off in the distance.
It reminded me of his Star Trek movie where you got little, Captain Kirk driving his motorcycle up to one of the spaceships. Like,
exactly. That's a J.J. Abrams
Iowa.
Yep.
I mean, it gave you a real idea of how massive these things are.
Oh yeah, it gives you that perspective, like Stan was saying, showing the wrecked X-wing, and then the big Star Destroyer in the distance and stuff. That gives you a good perspective right there. That was awesome.
That's a J.J. Abrams trick of relevance, and perspective. That's exactly what it is, and he's done it in pretty much every film that every blockbuster film that I've seen him do.
Yeah. And
Uh,
going back to what Luke was saying, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. He's basically kind of going what he was telling Leia in Return of the Jedi, but you can tell it's a little bit different because he said, instead of saying my father has it, he said my father had it.
right,
So
right.
it's new dialogue, just kind of along the same lines of what he said to Leia in Return of the Jedi, and so it kind of harkens to that, connects it, and kind of looks, ties it back to that, but it's still new.
So does that
The
mean that the
question
girl
is,
in the
though, is who
trailer,
has it now?
the girl in the trailer, is that we assume that that's a member of the Skywalker family, but is that Han and Leia's kid, or is that Luke's kid? Is he like the uncle? Is he going to be like this Obi-Wan Kenobi Uncle Ben character now? Um, what do you guys think?
Help me, Luke. Your Uncle Luke, your only hope.
Because we know that from the vibe I got from the trailer, with R2D2 being there and him, talking directly to whoever it is that he's talking to, and the tone of his voice, he's not the bad guy. This is not a turned bad guy Luke that
No,
we thought could happen. This is definitely a good guy Luke Skywalker. So
definitely, yeah, definitely. Lost my train of thought there. But
You get
Sorry.
a chance on Hulu. Entertainment Tonight had a little whole thing on the new Star Wars movie.
Oh, did
Like
it?
where they're showing Mark Hamill talking. They got stormtroopers in the background.
What do you
Do
guys
you
think
like
of
that?
the new look for the stormtroopers?
I liked it.
What about that red stormtrooper looking guy too? Did you see the guy? He's like kind of wearing a stormtrooper like outfit, but it's red.
They got like a chrome one.
It's awesome.
I think.
Yeah, I saw that too. What did you guys think about the TIE fighter? It was shoot. Now this was an interesting shot because it's a TIE fighter, and it's obviously shooting on the Empire. Like it's shooting, it's opening fire on stormtroopers and other TIE fighters in the same hangar. Is that something that's been controlled by one of the good guys? Is this someone within the Empire doing this? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's
like somebody like. Well, we do see the one guy who takes off his stormtrooper helmet and everything. So is he like one of the good guys, like infiltrating the storm? Kind of like Han and Luke when they dressed up as stormtroopers in
Or
Episode 4.
is he a stormtrooper that
Turns against
says,
him.
you know what, this Empire thing's probably not really a good thing. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. We know that he's allied with whatever the woman in the film is, which we believe to be in relationship with the Skywalker family. So I want to call her whatever she is, because she reaches out to him and grabs his hand, kind of like a "if you want to live, come with me" type deal.
Right. Oh, and Han and Chewie at the end.
I was going to say that right after all the crap breaks loose, and the screen goes black, and you hear, "Well, Chewie," and then it opens up, and you see Harrison Ford and Chewbacca there. It was so great. We're home.
Or we're
I
home,
mean,
yeah.
that's just, it tugged on so many strings at once, because this is the Star Wars I wanted to see in the 90s. And I thought I was just never going to get to see it. A returning cast Star Wars thing.
This is Star Wars we wish we would have gotten before Episode 1 came in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, we really couldn't with Episode 1 because it was telling the precursor story, so it's not
Right.
like you really
Yeah,
could.
we could have went on without Episode 1 for a while.
But what I'm saying is, I wanted a 7, 8, and 9 back in the 90s, instead of having to wait all this time until now. And I'm just,
But think of how much
once we
better
got
it's
the
gonna be
prequels,
because it's now instead of then, because they didn't have the
right,
effects
right,
and
right.
technology then. Which is
But
part of
when
the
we
reason
got
why Lucas waited so long to do the prequels is because of the technology.
but when we got the prequels, um, I I was like, okay, uh, and then look after probably halfway through the prequels, Lucas says, "No, this is it. After these three movies, I'm not doing Star Wars ever again." And I'm thinking, no, we're never going to get to what happens after episode 6. And everybody's like, well, nothing happens after episode 6. What do you mean? Because there's all this expanded universe and all this other
But
stuff.
that never happened,
I know, now
and
that it's
Return
not
of the
even
Jedi
canon
really
anyway.
wraps everything up kind of nicely, to where it's like
I
it doesn't
know.
matter what happens now because that's the end of the story. It ended.
But
But I'm still
not
excited now.
anymore. Not
I'm actually
anymore.
excited more than I was before. After that, after this new teaser, I'm more excited about it. I want to now. I really do want to know. But the thing is this really being called Episode 7? Because notice in neither of the teasers it doesn't say Episode 7.
It
It just
doesn't
says The
say
Force
episode 7. It
Awakens.
says Force Awakens, which I
No,
am okay with that. I'm okay with it being this the it's obviously the in chronological order it would be the seventh story.
Right, but maybe it's not Episode 7 because the 6 episodes were maybe Darth Vader's story, and since this isn't Darth Vader's story anymore,
We're
then it
starting
could
a new
be
story
right.
arc,
Maybe
yeah.
this is a new Episode 1 or the Episode 1 of a new saga that still is tied to the old saga, but not a direct continuation of it.
And another thing, um, the way now I can't say for Han Solo or anything like that because we only saw him at the end saying we're home. But the way that Luke Skywalker was talking, um, we were talking about, well, are some of these old characters going to be through the entire new trilogy? And I
I
think
don't
Mark
think they
Hamill
will.
is. I think Mark
I think
Hamill is.
Hamill might. I could see Harrison maybe only doing a one-time deal. Maybe show up in a third one or something.
That's what
Just
I was
little
thinking. I was thinking
cameos.
Harrison Ford, this is probably his last run. But Mark Hamill, I think, is going to be in this for the long haul.
Harrison Ford in past interviews, and I'm like talking years ago, before like the last Indiana Jones movie. I saw him do an interview once where they asked him like, "Do you want to do Han Solo again?" He's like, "Nah, there's not really anything there." He's like, "There's not the character is kind of like gone as much as it can done." And then they asked him, "Do you want to do Indiana Jones again?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, in a New York minute, I want to do Indiana Jones again." He's always been
He had the same love for Han Solo as Alex Guinness thought of Obi-Wan Kenobi. He
right.
outright hated it.
Yeah, he didn't really think that he didn't think there was much dimension to the character and stuff. He was much more into Indiana Jones than he was Han
Yeah,
Solo.
even though Han Solo is Indiana Jones with a hat,
Right.
there is no difference.
Well, now that it's not Lucas writing it or directing it, and you got Abrams, and you, if you notice with the Star Trek films,
That might make a
the
huge difference.
the the
Maybe.
start the 2009 movie and the Into the Darkness movie, um, J.J. Abrams, he does a lot of fan service, but his movies have layers, man. You know what I'm saying? Like there's stuff building, like the relationship between Spock and Kirk. They really hate each other at first. Then you get to Into the Darkness, and you're thinking, well, I hope they don't bicker because we're past that now. But we still got to do something with their relationship, and they do. But it built, and they kind of go back to bickering, but it's because Kirk feels stabbed in the back because
Right.
but Spock's like, hey, I'm following protocol. You were being a douche, you know. So I like how the way that Abrams does his stuff to where it has layers, and I think that could add more dimension to even characters that we've seen in the past films. He can add more. This is a very much older Han Solo. A lot could have happened between Episode 6 and whatever this new film is. So I look forward to whatever it brings, man. I'm on board, brother.
Guys, when I went and saw the last week in Fast and Furious 7, they had the first Star Wars trailer on there. And I thought, wow, seeing it on screen is like, whoa, this is awesome. Then you find out a few days later, hey, we got a second trailer coming out. Like, you mean to tell me I've been seeing this trailer on YouTube for months now? Now you bring out the second trailer after I've already been in the movies?
Right.
And
Like,
For a
both of these
brand new
trailers,
release that you
both
know
of these,
everybody will see?
both of these trailers weren't supposed to come out until Monday, and they got released on Friday
because of leaks.
because of leaks. But I think they were intentionally
I
leaked.
would have loved to have seen
Oh,
these
yeah.
trailers
A
for the
lot of
first
them were
time in the
potentially
theater
leaked.
myself. It would have
But
been awesome.
For a film that doesn't come out 7 months later, the Superman Batman trailer, me and you's not going to forget about it. All right, me, you, and Jason, we're not going to forget about
Right.
that trailer. But the diehard, let's say, a lot of the people, they don't like comic book movies. They don't care about,
I
or
wouldn't
they're
say
that
that's
into.
true. Comic book movies are becoming more mainstream.
Well,
That's why there's so many.
I
of them
know, but I'm saying,
Your average viewer
with
is
it
going to
coming out
probably
the same
watch
time
it on
as a Star Wars, though,
Right.
I don't think that trailer is going to be as memorable releasing it the
That's
same weekend as Star Wars.
right. That's like when I went and saw Star Trek Insurrection at the theater, and they had the trailer, the first trailer for Star Wars Episode 1, and that was the first time I had seen the trailer, too. I didn't even know the trailer was coming out because, back then, I wasn't even online yet. So I saw Star Trek Insurrection, but the trailer had Episode 1 on it. It ruined Insurrection for me. I mean, because I was like, I just saw a trailer for Star Wars Episode 1, and now I'm watching Star Trek Insurrection. If it was Star Trek First Contact, it would have probably been fine. But it was Star Trek Insurrection with the Episode 1 trailer before.
Which wasn't a bad movie. It was just a long Star Trek episode.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like not the same thing as watching the Star Wars Episode 1 trailer for the first time when you see
Right.
Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber and you're like, I'm like, you're all hyped up, and then it's like, this sucks.
Gotcha. But yeah, so I'm hyped on all three. This year's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, shoot, I'm excited with about Age of Ultron coming out 1st of May. Excited about that. Shoot, that's like crap. How many days away now? Less than 2 weeks.
Right.
Shoot.
Got Mad Max coming out here in the next few weeks too. I'm excited about
Yeah, that'll be cool.
just a
What
bunch
are,
of cool stuff.
any movies that are coming sooner than December that you're excited about, Jason?
Yeah, the Mission Impossible and
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bond.
Yes, Spectre comes out in November. Oh my God! Have you seen the trailer for Spectre? It dropped
Oh yeah.
last weekend.
Oh no, I have not seen it yet.
Oh man, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, they keep on every time one trailer from Mission Impossible goes, Bond goes. They're already out for a fight right now.
Yeah.
They don't care if they're released months apart. They just want to have a good fight between each other for the
Right.
spy movies.
I think Spectre wins out though.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig's last film, the trailer is amazing.
I need to check that. I'll have to watch that right after we finish the podcast. I haven't seen it yet.
But I'd never count out Tom Cruise either.
Yeah, I'm sure the new Mission Impossible. I'm sure will be good. Yeah.
I think people underestimate him a lot. He's not always been my favorite actor, but I've also got over the years realized that he can pretty much do whatever he wants as far as acting ability. He just may not get the credit for it.
he definitely has done some good stuff. Like, I mean, maybe not everything he's done has been great, but he's done a lot of good movies.
I don't think he's ever had a movie where I just thought, I would have been better off in life if I had never seen that.
Right. I wonder when he's ever going to do a superhero movie, because it seems like everybody eventually finds their superhero movie to be in. Like every actor out there. At
He
some
turned
point
down
is.
Iron Man.
So they did approach him, because I had thought way back when at some point that they were looking for him, because there was a little bit where they were doing like Iron Man covers, comic covers, when they would show
I think
Tony
he could have
Stark and
pulled
they
it
made him
off.
look like Tom Cruise. Yeah, I think he could have been Tony Stark. Yeah.
I think he
I
could have
don't think
pulled
it
it
would
off.
have been as good.
No, maybe
Honestly,
not.
I
But he
think
could
it would
have
have
pulled
been
it
just
off.
as good. I think it would have been just as good, and we would have never even thought about Robert Downey Jr. afterwards. We'd be like, yeah, I heard Robert Downey was going to be Iron Man, and we would have been like, I just don't see it.
That's possible too. That's a good point right there. If we had never seen
I
Robert
mean,
Downey,
look at
having
Tom
seen it though,
Tom Selleck was up for Indiana Jones. I mean, right now we can say I don't see it, but had he gotten a job,
but maybe it wouldn't have been a hit if he had gotten the job too. Who knows?
true.
Or it might have been. You never know. You never know. Who's supposed to be playing the new Indiana Jones? Because now that they're gonna like kind of continue it in a James Bond sort of way
Oh,
with different actors.
they've not
Probably
started
Shia
casting
LaBeouf,
Indiana Jones.
after the
No,
thing.
no.
Yeah. Oh, Shia, he'll
No.
be fighting and scrapping with everybody out there.
Wasn't there a new Terminator trailer too that came out?
Terminator Genesis.
Like, I mean, there was already a trailer, but didn't another trailer come out, or is it still just
Yeah,
one trailer?
it's another
Still
trailer.
beating
Okay, I
dead
haven't seen that
horse.
one yet either. I'll have to check that out too.
I think Terminator's just a dead horse they're just beating.
Maybe, but I'll see it anyway.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
fucking
I like it.
please.
I'll enjoy
I
it.
think reattaching Arnold to it is, yeah, it's kind of beating it to death.
I was fine with when the Christian Bale one ended to never see another one again. And then, no. Apparently someone thought we needed another.
It's
Another
probably
to
Arnold Schwarzenegger
explain.
that thought we needed another.
Well, I'm sure you throw out a paycheck and he'll be there.
I actually did like Terminator Salvation. I thought it was pretty good. But
I thought it made up for Terminator,
3.
whatever it was. Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
thought that was
Terminator 3 definitely wasn't one of the best ones. The one thing that I thought redeemed it was that at the end of Terminator 2, it made it seem like they fixed everything and they basically prevented the Judgment Day from happening.
Yeah, then you
Terminator
see
3 proved that they couldn't, that it was going to happen regardless. So I thought in that regard that Terminator 3 was good because it just showed that there was no preventing it. It just was going to happen
Well,
one
see,
way or another.
Some of these Terminator timelines with the time travel and stuff, like you can't prevent the inevitable. You know what I mean? It's like throwing a pebble into a stream. You know, yeah, you caused a minor disruption, but the stream still keeps flowing in the same current. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
eventually, you're going to get to the same place, and that was actually said in Citizen Kane. So,
So
yeah.
basically, regardless, no matter what they do, they can't really prevent the.
you
timeline.
can
The only thing they can do is try to at least save.
you can
the
delay.
resistance so that John Connor survives to fight and destroy Skynet and everything.
Yeah, but this one, it looks like John Connor's out in the fighting and destroying himself now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
It's confusing because you see where he sends Kyle Reese back to save Sarah Connor, but for some reason she doesn't need saving. She's saving him, and there's another Terminator came back. And I'm tired of Arnold having to be a good, heroic Terminator. It's like I want the freaking bad Terminator that Arnold played in the first one. I want him to play a bad. If he's gonna be in it, he needs to be a bad freaking Terminator, not a good one. You know, I mean, okay, Terminator 2 was cool with him ending up being good because they reprogrammed him. Why in Terminator 3 and now this one he also has to be another good with all them other T-800s out there that are all they want to do is kill everybody. Why can't he be another one of those? You
But
I
what
don't
I
know.
want to know is, when will Terminator take Manhattan?
know? Terminator
Terminator
takes like
6.
Jason takes
Terminator takes Manhattan.
right or Terminator lives. Freddy versus Terminator.
Oh wow.
Terminator X.
Right.
This time, shit's getting real.
90-year-old T-800.
I'll be back. Hasta bye bye. The other thing they're missing is throwing out Eddie Furlong back in the mix for the new.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because he's got his shit in gear, and you know, I want to see his drunk ass running up and down that street. Save me, Terminator!
How many John Connors have we had now? Yeah, we have Eddie Furlong and Terminator 2, whoever that one guy was in Terminator 3.
Oh, God.
Don't forget the adult John Connor in Terminator 2.
Was it Nick Stahl who did?
Was it Nick? Was it Nick Stahl? It was the guy who was in that show Carnival. But yeah, was that his name, Nick Stahl? But yeah, so you got
Oh, and
three,
it
and then
had
you
the
got
girl from My So-Called Life in part 3, which, ooh, that really made it there.
and then you had Christian Bale. So that was 4 John Connors, and then now this one, the 6th John
Doesn't
Connor.
this new guy, didn't he play the son to Bruce Willis's character on Die Hard?
That was that's the guy who plays Kyle Reese. It played Bruce Willis's son in the last Die Hard
Yeah,
movie.
that's right.
So yeah, we've had like 6 different John Connors.
Terminator 7, Die Hard, part whatever. It's Terminator versus Die Hard. That's it.
What about
You got a Freddy
Ash
versus
versus the
Jason.
Evil Dead? That's I think going to be a TV series that they have a teaser for.
You know, I'm all for it. Unlike 12 Monkeys, which I really never watched. I watched the movie once, thought it was stupid, and 20 years later, hey, let's make it into a TV series.
Ash though is like kind of a cult classic character that well Bruce Campbell played him in the Evil
Right.
Dead movies and Army of Darkness. Um, so like is this series going to be like just based off of it but with a new actor and stuff? Well, I mean obviously Bruce Campbell's getting older so he probably can't.
The remake movie
do it.
wasn't too bad as far as remakes go,
I thought
but
the original was like really kind of a bad movie, but Evil Dead 2, I really liked Evil Dead 2 and I liked Army of Darkness.
was Evil Dead 2 really different though than Evil Dead 1?
I
No.
think Evil Dead 2 made it to where you didn't have to watch Evil Dead 1 because they retold it
Yeah.
at the beginning, but a little bit different. And it was like, because I remember the first time I watched it, like, Army of Darkness was coming out, and I didn't know at first that it was like the third Evil Dead movie. And when I found that it was, I hadn't seen Evil Dead 1 and 2, so I said, oh, well, before I see this, I want to go rent Evil Dead 1 and 2 and watch them. So I watched Evil Dead 1, I'm like, it's like this 1970s B horror movie, okay, like, then I watched Evil Dead 2, and it's like, wow, after the beginning of Evil Dead 2, I'm like, I didn't even have to watch the first one. This one just kind of like retold the first one in a different way to where it just was slightly different, and you didn't even have to watch the first one. And I liked it a lot better because it started going to the more comical route.
They added Bridget Fonda in it, which made it cooler because she was kind of hot.
I love the Evil Dead movies.
And
All
then
three
Army
of
of
them.
Darkness, of course, I loved Army of Darkness. It was
Yeah, that was a good
right.
one.
So it's like, and then they've had like comics and stuff too with Ash and everything. They even like in the Marvel Zombies, they even brought Ash into the Marvel Zombies at some point in a crossover or something.
I think I love Bruce Campbell though.
Bruce
Just
Campbell's
about anything
awesome.
Bruce Campbell does, I'll watch.
I was surprised they never made another Evil of Darkness Part 2.
Well,
going
the
on. Or
remake of Evil Dead, what did that come out last year? It hasn't been that
about
long.
2 years ago, probably.
Has it been that long
Last year,
already? Wow,
years.
time
Yeah.
flies.
It wasn't that bad of a movie. I mean, it was interesting. I mean, as far as remakes, because I think a lot of remakes of old movies, a lot of times are just horrible.
Well, I think on this case they could only improve because the first one was kind of like really a B movie, like not done terribly well. Yeah, the dancing
I mean,
I thought it
skeleton
was
that looked
uh,
great.
all fake and stuff.
I hate going back and saying, are we gonna 20 years from now watch an episode one where Qui-Gon Jinn struck first at Darth Maul?
Oh
Is
my
that gonna be
gosh.
a thing?
Well, see, George Lucas isn't doing them anymore, so I don't know
I hope.
that we'll get that. What I'm wondering is if 20 years from now they're going to start over episode one and totally reboot, or not a reboot, but actually remake. You know, because you know how old movies after so long they decide to remake them because they can't think of something else to make. So, hey, I can't think of anything. Let's remake this movie from 20 years
You
ago.
know, I
What
was
if they
thinking about
do a
that.
whole new saga, like do all six movies, like remake all six
Half
movies,
the
like from
movies
scratch?
there's been a lot of remakes that we weren't even aware that were remade too, because they were
Yeah,
that much older.
You
yeah,
know, I got to thinking about that. The Who Strikes First, like the rule was in the original trilogy that whoever struck first was making the biggest mistake. That's why Luke Skywalker, he like I don't know when he went into the cave and Yoda told him not to take his weapon. What did Luke Skywalker do? He ignored Yoda, took his weapon, pulled it first, and he failed. Freaking okay. So then he at Cloud City. What happens? Luke Skywalker pulls his lightsaber first, strikes first. He fails. The Emperor antagonizes him in Return of the Jedi. He fails. Darth Vader fails in A New Hope because he draws first on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and of course Obi-Wan Kenobi takes the shot and becomes stronger than ever because you know he's part of the mainstream force, whatever. But yeah, that's. But then you go to the prequels and Obi-Wan Kenobi through the entire thing, or Yoda through the entire thing. The Jedi's actually strike first.
Yeah, well, even what got me is Obi-Wan sits there and says, I sensed something bad here. Oh no, Obi-Wan, you're just making too much of it. Alright, I sensed something bad again. Anakin starts doing it. Oh no, Anakin, you just need to, never mind that.
But anyway.
Yeah, it becomes kind of a little thing, probably like a running gag throughout Star Wars. Whoever goes first is gonna lose.
Anything else, guys? Is that it?
No. I think we're about done for the
Nah, I think
week,
that's
huh?
it. Unless one of you guys has
You're
anything else.
hosting, Tech. I was going to let you wrap it up, man.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, no, that's pretty much it.
Share
Check
your
us out
words of
next
wisdom.
week when we come back with more of whatever we're going to talk about. Thanks everybody for being here. It was awesome. We had a lot of fun. Thank you, Stan and Jason. Appreciate you guys. It was we had a lot of good topics. Had fun talking about them. We talked about the Batman versus Superman trailer, Battlefront, the new Star Wars teaser, and some other upcoming movies that we're interested in or are excited about. So we'll be back next week, and I think we'll be talking a little bit about the new James Bond trailer. And I need to check that out. I haven't watched that yet, so I'll be checking that out afterwards. Probably I'll also check out the new Terminator trailer, which I haven't seen yet. So we'll catch you all later. Thanks again for being here, and we'll see you.
Have fun, everybody.